making Mexican rice Gina Young style. I hope y'all are having a great day today, and if you're not, hopefully I can brighten up your day with this here recipe. How many of you love Mexican rice? Here at the Young's house, we absolutely love it. I mean, it's so good. You don't even need a meat to go alongside with it. You don't need nothing else but a big bowl of this Mexican rice. You're gonna love it. Make sure you make a nice amount because everyone's gonna want seconds. Here's what you're gonna need. You're going to need some rice. Now, when it comes to the rice, this is the type rice that I'm using today, okay? It's a medium grain rice. I'm not using the long grain and I'm not using the short grain. When I always make this recipe or I'm making Puerto Rican rice, I use this rice and it's medium. All right, you're gonna need some sazon. Sazon's gonna give a great color and a great taste, okay? And you're gonna need some tomato sauce. This is the kind that I'm using today. Really, you can use what kind you want, but if you want it to taste like mine, get this kind. You're gonna need a bell pepper. I decided to use the yellow today just because I don't have the green. Okay, so we're gonna use a little bit of that and fresh garlic. One whole fresh garlic clove. And you're gonna need some beautiful onions. So now for this recipe, I'm gonna use 4 cups of water, or you could do broth. Okay, and I'm going to do 2 cups of this rice here. Now this rice will get rinsed in cold water. I'll rinse it like 3 times until the water runs nice and clear. And later on, while I'm doing this recipe, I'll tell you why it's super important to rinse the rice. Now we got some spices so we can make it taste good. I'm going to be using chicken bouillon powder. Okay, if you don't want to use it, you can leave it out, but it ain't going to taste like mine, right? Okay, you're going to use some cumin. And when we use this cumin, we're just going to use a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. We have onion and garlic powder and some black pepper. In my pan, there's a tiny bit of cooking oil. Make sure your hands are clean. Mexican rice is on the menu. First thing I want to talk about is rinsing your rice and how important it is to me that you rinse your rice. I have the 2 cups of rice. What I feel like it does when you rinse it off, of course it gets it clean. But not only that, it gets rid of a lot of that starch. You ever rinse off something like a potato and you see how the water is real cloudy? That's what will happen with this rice. We're gonna rinse it about 3 or 4 times until the water's nice and clear. That's rinsing away a lot of that starch that would potentially make your rice mushy. Okay, so that's one of the first things we're gonna do, and we're gonna use cold water, not hot or warm water. And you can see I have it in this little mesh strainer here so that I don't lose my rice in the sink. I rinsed the rice and it's still inside of the strainer, but it's on a plate so we can drain it very well from the water. So now you're gonna have these vegetables, your onion, your bell pepper, and your garlic. We're gonna want to cut the amount that you want in your rice. Me, personally, I want a nice amount in mine, okay? But I'm not gonna put this whole onion in there. That would be way too much. Okay, so let's just cut about a half of this onion, okay, and a half of the bell pepper. Let's do something special to the rice. The rice has been drained very well, but inside of this pan, I have some cooking oil. I'm not sure if y'all can see it, but it's really just enough to coat the bottom of the pan, and I want to coat this rice in that oil. If you ask what type of oil I'm using vegetable oil, but really you can use what kind you want. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. Put your washed off rice right into the pan with the oil. And now I'm going to take the spatula and I want to make sure that every grain of rice is covered in the oil, because guess what I want? I want for my Mexican rice to have like a fried rice feel to it versus a mushy feel. And I'm hoping you can understand, but if you can't, you kind of get the gist, right? So let's cover the rice, and guess what's going to happen? This rice is literally going to begin to turn a light golden brown. And once that happens, then we'll start adding more things in, okay? That's going to take a while. Keep an eye on it. It's not something you want to go walk away and go sit down. Just keep a good eye on it. So in the meantime, let's cut up the vegetables, the onion, and the bell pepper. You cut it as small or as big as you want. Okay, I'm going to do that same thing with this lovely bell pepper that's going to bring so much flavor, nutrients, and color to our recipe. Our rice fries up. Let's go ahead and cut up a fresh clove of garlic. Not the kind that's packed in the oil in a jar of water or whatever they do. Get you some fresh. When you use fresh garlic, oh my goodness, it's going to taste better. It is. It's just my opinion, but I do really feel like that's true. Don't get the kind that's in the oil. My goodness. I heard someone say they're using garlic. I guess you mix jar and garlic together. What that equals to me is not fresh. This is fresh. And I'm using that whole clove. I'm going to chop it down as fine as I can. Great flavor going in. So now that I've fried my rice for about 8 minutes, it's about 8 minutes or so, let's go ahead and put the fresh garlic, your bell peppers, and that nice sweet onion within here. We're going to let that cook for about 5 minutes, but I want to talk about our liquid. You can use a broth if you want to, just if you wanted to, or you can use water like I'm going to. Since I used 2 cups of rice, I'm going to use 4 cups of water, okay? So that's how that's going to go, and you'll have the correct measurement. Now look down in there. Can you see that the rice has got like a light golden brown? Oh yeah, we're moving in the right direction. That's what we're looking for. Now we can start adding everything in. Once you see that the rice is beginning to turn that light color, let's go ahead and put a Sazon seasoning packet in. And I'm going to show you this because this is what you're going to want, the orange box. The orange is going to give it that color that Mexican rice is, right? But it gives it a great taste too. Watch this. We're going to put chicken bouillon powder in. That's where your flavor is going to come in, and your flavor is also going to come from a little bit of tomato sauce. But listen to me. I did 2 little pinches of the chicken bouillon. If you put too much tomato sauce, you will make your rice mushy. We're only going to use 1 tablespoon, and that's it. Yes, it's going to flavor it, okay? So you're just going to have to trust me right there. When you're using cumin, don't use too much. Watch this. That's plenty enough, okay? If you go overboard, it won't taste right. All right, we're going to put some onion and garlic powder in, and on purpose with that, put a nice amount in. You want to taste that flavor, right? And then we're going to put some black pepper in, stir everything around, and then we're going to put that 4 cups of cold water in, not hot or warm water. If you use hot or warm water, you'll mess it up. Okay, so let's stir this just like this. Get ready to get your cold water. What I like to do is give those seasonings, especially that cumin, some time to bloom within the pan. Okay, so it kind of releases an amazing oil that's going to flavor this. Okay, I'm just using a house tablespoon for my sauce here. Lovely, great flavor, gorgeous color. Here's 2 cups of water, and it is cold. And I'm going to grab the other cup, and now here's what's going to happen. You're going to bring this up to a boil. Once it comes up to a boil, we're going to turn it all the way on low, cover it, and let that thing cook for 20 to 25 minutes without peeking in and opening it. If you open it, it won't cook up right. I just wanted to show you all this gorgeous color that we're going to achieve. Oh yeah. Go ahead and cover this up. I've turned it on low. The rice behind me on the larger stove so it can have a bigger circumference eye versus this one to cook on. So now it's on low, it's covered up, and what I did was I covered it with foil, and then I covered it with a glass lid. Okay, so now for everybody that loves cilantro, I know there's some people out there that don't love it, so you can skip this part. When my rice is done, I'm going to stir in just a little tiny bit of cilantro to give it some great authentic flavor, okay? You don't have to use a whole lot. We're using just a tiny bit, but that's only for the people that like cilantro. I know there's people out there that think cilantro tastes like dish liquid. I'm not that person. I love the fresh taste, and it tastes amazing with this. Take a look at this rice. It is absolutely stunning. The whole house smells amazing. I'm excited. You're excited. If you want to make it Gina Young style, all you really got to do is follow these simple tips that I showed you today. So if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you ain't subscribed, what you waiting on? Tell your family and friends. Tell the world what Gina's doing every single day in this kitchen. And Father, on today, we thank you for this lovely meal, your hedge of protection, your love time, your mercy, and your understanding. Amen. We'll just plate it up together. Get you a ramekin, and if you don't have one, maybe a tiny bowl. I'm using a measuring cup, and I want to do it this way, okay? Just going to kind of pack it in and make it look gorgeous. So now, what am I serving with this? My husband's going to grill some chicken thighs, boneless, skinless chicken thighs. He seasons them up really well. He's going to throw them onto the grill, and so that's what he's doing back here. So he's going to put those on the grill. And let me show you what else we're having with this rice. See, I pack it in there, and you can really make it gorgeous. How beautiful is that, right? Instead of just plopping it on the plate, right? It didn't turn out the way I wanted it to, but it's okay. I'm going to do some cilantro. I'm not going to put it within the pan, but if you want to, sure you can. Okay, so watch this. I'm gonna take chips and salsa. It has to go with your Mexican rice, right? There's the chips. Lovely. We have some white queso. I don't know why I call it white queso, but I do. Okay, so let's get us some on there. Oh, are you kidding me? Throw it on. Yes. I have to, y'all. I'm hungry. A little bit of salsa. And he's going to grill up that chicken. And dinner will be served. Look at this, y'all. Hold on. I'm going to bring this close to the camera, okay? Make you some. A taste. You want a taste? We're going to go right in. Going right in for that rice. Oh. It's everything I want. Chips and dip. Queso dip and the salsa.